Good morning, everyone. Does it help if I back up a little? I'm Chris Tackett. It's my great pleasure to welcome you this morning to Sunday morning with Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We're so happy you're here. I'm Chris Tackett. I'm the music director. Stacy Sosa, our religious educator, is in the nest with some wonderful, wonderful children, and the help of Grace Yelland as well, too. And the Reverend Matthew Funk Crary, who is our settled minister, is away this week, hopefully enjoying some pleasant time off. I also want to say thank you to Lee, Bob, and Alex, helping with our audiovisual and our Zoom hosting this morning. And I always like to come up and take a moment and say, y'all know what this is. Y'all know what this button on the side does. Maybe yours does something slightly different. But it's 2025, and y'all should know when you press the button. There you go. We have a wonderful service for you this morning. Robin Bousel and Samar have been so hard at work prepping and planning for this service. Part of our overall theme, do not fear the future. We're diving straight into do not fear death this morning. Also with the help of the Reverend Linda Logan, who's also here to speak with us and for us this morning. I just always enjoy being able to say good morning, welcome, whether you're here with us in person, whether you're here with us on Zoom, or if somewhere down the line you're watching us on YouTube. Thanks to Harvey and his incredible work at getting our YouTube services up and running. I want to say welcome, we're glad you're here, and you're in exactly the right place. Everyone all together, let's commit a conspiracy. Take a big breath together. This morning, I'm bringing you two beautiful pieces of Mozart. Two selections from a piano sonata, and the choir will help me a little bit later with an absolutely gorgeous piece, Ave Verum Corpus, that we will hopefully do justice to. It's a gorgeous piece, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samar. Chalice lighting today. In the beginning. In the beginning, a garden filled with the light and shadows of trees, promise and hope, pure oneness and innocence, untouched by self-reflection. As babies, we just are, rooted in existence, without a map of self showing us how we fit into the world. We grow up taking the trees, learning all that gardens have to offer. We start to recognize that there's more, maybe beneath the surface, maybe outside the gates, weaving thoughts and emotions and beliefs to create a unique tapestry. Is it rebellion when we dare to question? The apple, a fruit filled with the promise of transformation. And in that moment, change floods in. A truth. The comfort of knowing must dissolve to be replaced with deeper understanding. A truth that joy and grief can entwine into two faces at the same moment. A truth. Change is not a thief, but a teacher. The garden, now a symbol of living paradox. In every death, there is a promise of a beginning. The garden endures, its roots cradling beginnings and endings alike. As Khalil Gibran Khalil said, you are no longer of it. You belong neither to yesterday nor to tomorrow. You are with the eternal now. Please join us as we breathe in the cycles of the endless now. Thank you. Is it on? It's on. Thank you. As we go through to our next section, joys and sorrows, celebrations and comfort. For everything there is a season, good times and bad times, planting and reaping, joys and sorrows. We recognize this each week through our ritual of joys and sorrows. And this water, collected from Sonoran skies, our homes, our journey, celebrates our congregation. We drop stones into the water as we share joys and sorrows, reflections of these seasons of our lives. We invite our congregation to respond with their celebrations and comfort.
I have one joy and gratitude that I wish to share this morning. And I'm going to ask everyone who attended Saturday's rally to please stand up. These are our democracy warriors. They are standing up for yours and my rights. Thank you so much.
We add handfuls of stones for the joys among us, and a handful of stones for the sorrows unnamed, as a reminder of the seasons held among us, but not spoken out loud. Our Pastoral Care Committee invites you to contact us, and we want to hear your joys and sorrows. With your permission, we will share it on Sundays during our ritual. May we feel the rhythm of these seasons and respond to the need among us. May it be so. Thank you.
For our opening hymn today, it's number 1046 in the Teal Hymnal, our supplemental book, Singing the Journey. This comes from a late 19th century, mid to late 19th century American tradition of hymnody. Yeah, it's kind of God language, but I love the way it uses the imagery of river and water motion and the idea of that river and water carrying us home, in this case to the saints and past the throne of God. But I always love, in my head as a kid, I always imagined that it was the river Styx carrying us down with the ferryman along with us. So won't you stand with us and sing 1046, Shall We Gather at the River? And as always, the words will be on the screen.
Shall we gather at the river, where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. On the margin of the river, washing up its silver spray, we will walk and worship ever all the happy golden day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Ere we reach the shining river, lay we every burden down. Grace our spirits will deliver and provide a robe and a crown. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with a melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God.
This passage is by Elie Wiesel. Elie Wiesel, Holocaust survivor, activist, professor, Nobel laureate, famous for many of his works, including Night, a book about his experiences in the concentration camps. Wiesel embodied the Jewish conscience that never again meant not merely never again to the Jewish community, but never again to anyone. This is an excerpt from his book, Open Heart, as he writes about his journey through open heart surgery. A credo that defines my path. I belong to a generation that has often felt abandoned by God and betrayed by mankind. And yet, I believe we must not give up on either. Was it yesterday or long ago that we learned how human beings have been able to attain perfection in cruelty? That for the killers, the torturers, it is normal, thus human, to act inhumanely. Should one therefore turn away from humanity? The answer, of course, is up to each of us. We must choose between the violence of adults and the smiles of children, between the ugliness of hate and the will to oppose it, between inflicting suffering and humiliation on our fellow man and offering him the solidarity and hope he deserves, or not. I know, I speak from experience, that even in darkness, it is possible to create light and encourage compassion, that it is possible to feel free inside a prison, that even in exile, friendships exist and can become an anchor, that one instant before dying, man is still immoral. There it is. I still believe in man in spite of man. I believe in language even though it has been wounded, deformed, and perverted by the enemies of mankind. And I continue to cling to words because it is up to us to transform them into instruments of comprehension rather than contempt. It is up to us to choose whether we wish to use them to curse or to heal, to wound or to console. As a Jew, I believe in the coming of the Messiah. But of course, this does not mean that the world will become Jewish, just that it will become more welcoming, more human. I belong, after all, to a generation that has learned that whatever the question, indifference and resignation are not the answer. Illness may diminish me, but it will not destroy me. The body is not eternal, but the idea of the soul is. The brain will be buried, but memory will survive it. Such is the miracle. A tale about despair becomes a tale against despair. Thank you.
Got to find the right page. Hold on. All right. Here we go. I invite you now to a time of contemplative meditation. Get a comfortable seat. Keep an open mind. Take a deep breath in and out. Life is full of endings, full of cracks, full of breaking, but it is also full of rebirth, of light, of something new emerging from what once was. Breathe in and out. A piece of pottery shatters, and in the art of kintsugi, the broken pieces are filled with gold. It is more beautiful, not in spite of its cracks, but because of them. Breathe in and out. A forest burns, and from the ashes, new life begins. Seeds that could not have grown in the shadow of the old trees now rise toward the sun. Breathe in and out. A river reaches the end of its path, merging with the ocean. It is no longer the river it was, but it has not disappeared. It has become something greater. Breathe in and out. A caterpillar wraps itself in darkness, dissolving completely. It is no longer what it was, and yet, from that undoing, wings emerge. Breathe in and out. A loved one dies, and we are changed. The grief shapes us, but so does the love they left behind. They are gone, and yet they are not. Breathe in and out. We lose something, a job, a relationship, a home, and we do not know what comes next. But then, a new path unfolds, A door we didn't even know existed opens before us. Breathe in and out. A nation breaks. A democracy begins to crumble. But in the breaking, long hidden truths are exposed, the work left undone, the rights left unprotected, the voices left unheard. And now, with clear eyes, we see what must be rebuilt. Breathe in and out. Pain does not erase beauty. Endings do not erase beginnings. The cracks in our lives are not flaws. They are the places where the light can enter. Everything we lose makes way for something new. Everything that ends is a part of our larger story. We are held in the cycle, in the paradox, in the gold-filled cracks of what was and what will be. Repeat after me. Forget your perfect offering. Ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light, that's how the light gets in. One more time with feeling. Forget your perfect offering. Ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light, that's how the light gets in. Thank you.
I first encountered this musical treatment of the text Ave Verum Corpus when I was singing with the Episcopalians in Brooklyn. This is a Mozart. A word-for-word translation of the Latin text can seem like an extrapolation from the coroner's report after the execution of Jesus. But all the while, it reminds me of the painful challenges each of us faces. I ask myself, what is this body that we are gifted with? And are there circumstances where we offer up our bodies for the sake of the other, be it family, friend, or community ideal? However, the text, as I interpret it for you, is closer to a toast than a question. We lift a glass to this body, our existence incarnate, derived from our mother, the renewable good earth. May we be guided by our aspirations and ideals through the real trials and sacrifices of this life until our last moment.
I always take a quick second to breathe with the choir. Won't you breathe with us? And one more.
Seats. And we're back. All right. And now to you in the field, Sally. Okay. I've been cooking the idea for this service for quite some time. And in conversation, one of many, many wonderful conversations with my darling dear friend, the Reverend Dr. Linda Logan, she shared a story with me that really resonated with exactly what we're talking about today. So I asked her to grace us with a retelling of this story. So here she comes to do her thing.
The choir is sounding wonderful, Chris. You're doing a great job. A number of years ago, I learned a chant, and it was, doors opening, doors closing, doors I'm opening, doors I'm closing. So often, and what it ends up with, I am safe. It's only change. I am safe. It's only change. So many things happen to us, and we get so frantic, and we get so bent out of shape because, oh my God, I'm not going to have that anymore. It's gone forever. I'm never going to be able to see that person again. I'll never be able to go there again. And all of a sudden you understand that what it's done is open the doors for you to go other places, to meet other people, to do other things. See, life doesn't want you standing still and not experimenting and going out and doing different things. So quite often what life does is sort of snatch away that which you've been holding on to so hard. The experience that I've had, and I shared this with you a few weeks ago, that my sister and her husband, during those fires in California, lost 3 homes. 1 home that they lived in, and 2 that they had as businesses where they housed people who had, I never know what term to use, but they were young men who were functional and had some emotional problems. I don't want to put anybody down for whatever's going on in their lives because I don't know what they're here for to show me. They lost everything. Their cars, all of our memorabilia, which my sister was the keeper of, everything was gone. All of our past, everything. What were they going to do? Oh, at first it seemed so catastrophic, and it was. And it really was. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to California, and I was able to go to visit my sister, who are now housed in a luxury apartment building because of the insurance that she had written so well. They have 3 years of free rent in this luxury apartment. They will get all their cars back. My brother-in-law was ready to let go of the business but did not know how to do it. All of that was taken care of. Then what happened was my sister had walked through her house one day that week and had thought, she's an interior decorator. She said, I love this house, but I sure would like to have another place to work on. There it is. It all happened. I don't think it needs to take this kind of tragedy in order to make changes, but sometimes it does. To shake you loose from what you have decided is everything for you. It is not everything. And when they took me and we rode through the neighborhoods, and I saw each of the houses that had burned down that were theirs, I also saw that in blocks and blocks of demolished houses, there in the middle of that would be a house that had been untouched. What was that about? And then next to it, for miles on, would be more burned houses. It lets you know that a lot of it has to do with your emotional state and your consciousness and what you've put out there about what you believe true and what you want. You have to start to learn how to deal with that. But as we went and saw the houses, I saw the first house they had purchased, and I remembered I'd given them the down payment for that house. Gone. Gone. As we went to the other houses and I saw them flattened, I thought, not about how horrible it was, but what were they going to build there now? What new thing was going to be given a chance and an opportunity to be here in these spaces that had seemed so demolished? Soon they were going to be building. They already have plans for one house that they're going to rebuild, and they're already doing that. See, sometimes you have to be snatched out of your comfort zone in order to move on and do the things that you need to do. Yes, doors are opening. Doors are closing. Doors you're opening. Doors you're closing. But you're safe. Because it's only change. So when things begin to happen to you and you keep thinking, oh, this is so terrible, it's one of those moments where you say, wait, just wait. Oh, here comes the answer. This happened because you were to be able to do this next thing. You see, life is not here to hurt you or to demolish you. Life only wants to extend through you and be more through you. So relax when these things happen. You can be frantic for a minute, it's up to you. But after you get through with that, start thinking about, what am I going to replace this with now? You know, we talk about endings. There are no endings, they're really just beginnings. All of science tells you now that there is no such thing as death, there is only a change of form. You see it in nature everywhere, and you are a part of nature. You get to change and become something more and something different. So let's not fear the future. Let's not fear death. Let's not fear anything other than not living your life fully in your day. If you don't do that, then you're giving something away. Then that is death of time that you've been given. We're in a wonderful place, you know, and I'm going to close in a second, but there's a lot going on in this world now that is so ugly. And what we have to do now is know that that's going to die. That's going to change form. And you know how it's going to do it? By the people who go out and are demonstrating and are doing these things and are finally coming together as human beings, caring about one another. All of a sudden, there they are. I thought the pandemic would do it, but this is going to do it. Take your life back and begin to live it fully and completely. You are loved. You are loved. You are safe. It's only change. Thank you.
Long ago, I decided that each of our lives, short or long, is a gift of existence that none of us ever earned. In me, that realization provokes a certain baseline gratitude that colors my approach to each day. Now, the book of human life only stands on the shelf of time through the roughly equal action of the two great bookends, birth and death, currently out of balance. From this angle, the opposite of life is not death, but rather never having existed. And death is the opposite of birth, to be celebrated as one of the great markers of our place on the shelf of time. My other image of death comes from Francis of Assisi. As immersed as he was in the faith of Christianity, he was always having direct experience with the world around him. I use present tense here. Francis loves the world as it is. Not some fancied dominion of humans, but a world with bug bites, broken bones, beautiful, belligerent blue jays. It would be impossible, though, to love the world, animal, vegetable, mineral, water, air, fire, without love of death also. For death is integral to the real world. Every moment our lives, short or long, count on countless deaths of our sisters and brothers in the vegetable, animal, and mineral branches of the family. And the creation, the family, is counting on our deaths as well, for the same reasons, for the lives to come. You may be familiar with Francis' Canticle of the Creatures, one of the earliest Italian songs ever recorded. Brother Sun, Sister Moon, Sister Water, Brother Fire. On his deathbed, Francis wrote a last verse to the song. For death, our sister, praised be, from whom no one alive can flee. Woe to the unprepared. Is death the enemy or our sister? I think because he could see her this way, Francis came to a peaceful end. And I believe he steps out of time on a day such as this. I like to use the future perfect tense in this regard. He will always have been. We will always have been. Time for a little James Taylor. Special pickpocket. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're on our way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause anyone knows that love is the only road. Since we're only here for a while, might as well enjoy some style. Come on, give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride? Sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. And how does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. The planets are spinning through space. Smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Some kind of lovely ride. See me sliding down, I'll be gliding down. And try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Thank you.
That was awesome. So, I've been a member of MVUU for about 6 years, I think, and I have stood up here and sometimes over there, and sometimes kind of draped over the piano over there, many times, and I have cried and I have shared my trauma, my grief, my cancer, the deaths, all of it. We're not doing that today. We're going to do something fun. We're going to have a fun presentation about death. Right? All right, get excited. Here we go. With the help of Lee, who's going to be my slide master, I'm going to introduce to you something that I've created called the stages of not fearing death. And I'm going to set my timer so I don't talk for too long. Okay. Stage 1, radical acceptance, AKA the OMG, we're all going to die stage. Now I know what you're thinking. Some gold sparkles would really help make this less scary. Lee, sparkles? Ah, there we go. Much better. I feel my existential crisis melting away already. So the theme for this stage is about coming to terms with the inevitable without spiraling into existential dread. So what does that look like? Facing the fact that physical death is non-negotiable, like taxes, but with less paperwork. So we spend so much time avoiding the thought of death, but no amount of kale smoothies or cryotherapy will make us immortal. Death is baked into the deal. The sooner we stop denying it, the more energy we can put into actually living. Next, recognizing that nature has already figured this out. Birth, death, and rebirth are built into this system. If trees can handle it, so can we. Death and rebirth are part of this system. Fallen leaves enrich the soil, logs become homes, new growth rises from ashes. Even our bodies work this way. Cells die and regenerate constantly. If a tree can stand tall knowing it'll be mulched someday, maybe we can too. And the last in this section is understanding that resisting death or pretending it doesn't exist just makes it scarier. When we avoid talking about death, it looms large and terrifying. But when we name it, face it, give it space, like turning on the lights in a dark room, it loses power. Talking about death doesn't bring it closer, it helps us make peace with it. Besides, the Grim Reaper probably just needs a hug. So, all right. Stage 2, learning and processing, AKA the research, rinse, and repeat phase. So for this stage, our theme is figuring out why death is essential, not just spiritually, but also biologically and emotionally. What does that look like? Learning from nature. Death is not the end, but part of the cycle of growth. We've talked a little bit about this. Forests, coral reefs, flowers, our bodies show us that life depends on death. Trees shed their leaves, coral makes room for new growth, and our muscles grow stronger by breaking down and repairing. But we are built for this transformation. Loss can feel like destruction, but it can also be preparation, clearing space for something new to take root. Understanding how we grow through loss, not despite it, but because of it. Post-traumatic growth, something I talk about a lot, teaches us that pain can deepen us. Grief doesn't just break us down, it rebuilds us with greater empathy, clarity, and resilience, like a bone that heals stronger after the fracture. We become more whole through our wounds. When we name our experiences, learn about what we fear, and share what we've survived, we soften the edges of the unknown. Looking beyond ourselves, gathering wisdom from diverse cultures. From Dia de los Muertos in Mexico to ancestor veneration in many Asian traditions, countless cultures view death not as an end, but as an ongoing relationship. Some celebrate the dead with food, music, and joy. Others believe the veil between worlds grows thin during sacred times. Exploring these perspectives gives us a wider lens, one that sees death not just as a loss, but as a relationship, a legacy, and a sacred continuity, an integral thread in the fabric of life, woven with memory, reverence, and love. All right, stage 3, here we go, last stage. Appreciate and celebrate, AKA death, but make it a party. So the theme here, if death is a part of the cycle, then it deserves to be honored, maybe even with a little flair. So what does this look like? Creating rituals to honor both death and rebirth. Now, humans are ritualistic by nature. We light candles, we scatter ashes, and tell stories to honor the dead. Why not create new rituals to celebrate the whole cycle? Plant a tree when someone dies, hold a letting go ceremony, or raise a glass to all that was and all that will be. Rituals ground us and help us mark both endings and new beginnings with grace. Practicing gratitude for the full cycle. It's easy to appreciate life when it's thriving, but can we also find beauty in its endings? Gratitude isn't about loving the pain, but recognizing the gift in it. A sunset is beautiful because it's fleeting, and fall leaves are striking because they're about to disappear. When we can thank life for both light and dark, we become less afraid of loss. It's all a part of the same breathtaking dance. One last one. Finding joy in what remains and what comes next. Death clears space for new life in our hearts, minds, and relationships. After a tough goodbye, we often find ourselves open to new beginnings. Life rushes in to fill the empty spaces. And if we let go of the fear of endings, we get to experience the joy of fresh starts. Life and death are two sides of the same coin. So if the coin lands heads up today, let's make it a good one. There is a curious paradox that no one can explain. Who understands the secrets of the reaping of the grain? Who understands why spring is born out of winter's laboring pain, or why we all must die a bit before we grow again? Thank you.
Maybe it's just me, but I always seem to think that after wonderful things like that, the best possible response is to sing. I mean, I am a choir director and all that, I guess, so it works. And I suppose I should also say one of the greatest ways of breathing and keeping energy and spirits up is to sing. And I feel like I should also mention that Wednesday evenings at 6:30 is choir practice. We have a couple of weeks left in our spring season, another month and a half. We're going to keep on singing, and I would love to have any and all of you there, because after all, like everything else, going to rallies, resisting, being part of various things, the bigger the group, the more fun it is. So, with that in mind, let's stand and sing. It's 324 in the gray hymnal. 324, and of course on the screen, beautiful words from Alicia Carpenter set to a traditional English tune, Vaughan Williams, yes, of course, again. 324, Where My Free Spirit Onward Leads.
Where my free spirit onward leads, well, there shall be my way. By my own light illumined, I've journeyed night and day. My age a time-worn cloak I wear, as once I wore my youth. I celebrate like ocean deep, or borne aloft on wings. The ever-spinning universe, well, there shall be my home. I sing and spin within it, as through this life I roam. Eternity is hard to ken, and sadder still is this. A human life, when truly seen, is briefer than a kiss.
Thank you all for being with us here today. It was wonderful to see the myriad of talent and lots of talent from all of you, so thank you. I appreciate you saying the learning you get from different cultures. I know, I'll share a short story. When my husband and I had been dating a few years, one of his aunts had stage 4 breast cancer. And as she was going through her path towards transitioning prior to her death, the family held a celebration of life. And this was really curious to me because, I mean, coming from a Middle Eastern background, like I had never heard of anything like that. And so I was like, what is this? She's still alive? We're going to, okay. But it was wonderful. We went there. It was joyful, and everyone was going up to her in pairs or by themselves and saying what they loved about her, what they appreciated. It was something that I was like, I think that would be something I want to do for myself. It just gives a chance to say goodbye in a much more meaningful way. And so I just wanted to share that. And as we go through the rest of our day today, I'm going to go through some of our announcements. I'll go them some of them might be really brief, so bear with me. Lee? And one of them will be by
Hello all,
Stacey.
my name is Stacy, and I am part of a wonderful committee helping to plan a really exciting event happening on April 26th. We are calling it Beyond the Binary, a secular place to find community with transgender, non-binary, and our allies. A place for us to gather, learn, and grow. During this event, we will have multiple guest speakers, in person and streamed via Zoom, breakout sessions for trans and non-binary folks, their allies and families, and those who are learning to be allies, a resource fair, a clothing swap, an introductory makeup session, gender-affirming hairstylists, a space for children, youth to find community, and lots more. This event has something for everyone. So to register for this event happening on April 26th, you will need to use the link located in the MVUU and Baja 4 newsletters. We are stronger together. We know this, and cannot do this special event without your help. We are in need of some friendly helping hands. We are looking for some welcomers, tech support, safety staff, and hospitality. There will also be some time to participate in the event as well, so please consider offering your time and talent to this wonderful event. You will find the link to volunteer is also in the newsletters. Thank you, and we hope to see you all there.
After service today, as we walk out through those doors, please join us for some refreshments. There'll be 2 baskets, the wooden basket for the work of this community, towards this community, and then the woven basket for our giving and sustaining partner this month. This month, it is Flowing Wells Elementary School and Laguna Elementary Schools, both schools that have limited resources, the majority of the population, and who could really benefit from whatever you're willing to give. I know MVU has a special relationship with both schools, not just with the treasurer, but also with some of our volunteers here that volunteer there. So thank you for those of you. Our next slide is Jubilation Stewardship. There is still time to get a pledge in to help us budget for next year. There's some blank pledge sheets, should be outside on our welcome altar as you're coming in into MVUU and outside of Reverend Matthews' office. If you feel so, please fill one out today, fold it so your private information cannot be seen, and put it in our administrator Stephanie's box outside of her office. Thank you. And then protests. There are so many protests happening. If you would like to kind of know and keep up to date with what, when, and where they are being held, Take Action Tucson is a check out their website, great resource, or you can, there's like a little scan code there. They have a list of something happening almost daily all around Tucson, as well as some of the bigger rallies that I know are being held. And so please check out their website, has all the information that you might need. And then I will defer to Robin for the cabana.
What good is sitting alone in your room? Come to the cabaret. No, seriously, come to the cabaret. It's not the cabana, it's a cabaret. Or we could have a cabana. We could set up a cabana, it doesn't matter. The cabaret is April 19th. It is at 6 p.m. It is a fundraiser for MVUU. That means every single cent is going directly to our community. Some people already bought tickets. Congratulations. But we are opening the doors to everyone else, so you can pay at the door and come in. There's plenty of room for you. The theme is showstoppers. There'll be some special guests. I'm not naming any names. Joel, I'm not naming anyone's names. Jane Paul, no names at all. Special surprises. Chris Tackett. Come join us. It's going to be a blast.
We close our chalice and release our flame. In the end, a garden, filled with the light and shadows of trees, promise and hope, oneness and innocence, untouched by self-reflection. As babies, we just are rooted in existence, without a map of self showing us how we fit into this world. We grow up taking in the trees, learning all that gardens have to offer. We start to recognize the more, maybe beneath the surface, maybe beyond the gates, weaving thought and emotions and beliefs to create a unique tapestry. It's not rebellion when we dare to question. The apple, a fruit filled with the promise of transformation, and in that biting moment, change floods in. A truth that the comfort of knowing must dissolve and is replaced with deeper understanding. A truth that joy and grief can entwine into two faces at the same moment. And a truth, change is not a thief, but a teacher. And the garden now a symbol of living paradox, that in every death there is the promise of a beginning. The garden endures, its roots cradling beginnings and endings, and as Khalil Gibran said, you are no longer of it. You belong neither to yesterday nor to tomorrow. You are with the eternal now. May you all go with the love of community as you find your own path. Blessed be.
Since we're in a classical bag this morning, I have one more little piece for you. 19th century German composer Robert Schumann. He was a great guy for everything, like all great romantics, everything actually means something else. He wrote this lovely collection of little pieces. They're beautiful little pieces. If you've ever played piano, there's a good chance you've encountered them. It's called The Album for the Young. And even these cute little piano pieces are laden with symbolism, and everything means something else, and everything. Here's this lovely little piece called The Wild Rider, and it's been suggested that he suffered from a chronic condition most of his life, and it made big parts of his life very difficult, and he wound up in an asylum at the end of his life, end of his relatively young life as a result. And it's been suggested in some of his own writing that this lovely piece about a crazy riding a horse is actually the sound of death bearing down upon him. In music for kids, come on.